guys? It's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. I have a fun one for you today, man. Total rock anthem. We are going to rock out today. Same Old Situation by Motley Crue. Great album. I loved this album when I was 14, 15. I'm dating myself now. That's not good. So anyway, great album, great song. We are in a different kind of tuning than usual. Very, very normal for Motley Crue, though. We are in D standard. So that means every string on the guitar is tuned down a whole step. If you don't know what those notes are, they'll be written in the description. I'll also call them out. It's a D. The E string tuned down to a D. A string tuned down to a G. The D string tuned down to a C. G string tuned down to an F. B string tuned down to an A. And the high E string tuned down to a D. All right, so those will be written in the description because I did fly through them a little bit. Before I get into it, please follow the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. And, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out my Guitar Academy. It's at GuitarLessons365.com. It's got all my guitar courses covering lots of things. And we got a great community over there. We've got thousands of people that have signed up, and I really want anybody that watches me on YouTube, enjoys what I do, to at least go check it out and see what you think. All right, hope to see you there. So let's get into it here. Okay, after you get in D standard, so you can follow along with me and the original recording, we have this opening riff, which is just killer. All right, so now underneath that we have some chords though. Let me show you those real quick. All right, so that's just what you want to do is you can hit the low E string, palm muted, or the actual low E power chord, the whole power chord, really muted, really quick, and then jump and grab the A power chord and let it ring. So live, they have Vince Neil plays that part because it's pretty simple. All right, then Mick Mars's riff. Very helter-skelter-ish. We're going to start here at the 5th fret across the B and the high E string. So those two. Then you move down to the 4th fret on the B, and you're going to have the 5th fret still on the high E, so you have to change the fingerings around a little bit. Then we're going to take the note on the B string down one more fret to the 3rd fret. Still got that 5th fret on the high E. And then the final chord is going to be the 6th fret there on the G string, and then the 5th fret on the B, and then the unison of that, the open E. So with this. All right. Ah, man, back when music was actually fun. All right, now we're going to jump into the verse. All right, so we start out with just that E power chord and that A power chord. So that's that A power chord a few times. Then down to the E. Back to the A. Back to the E. All right, so we're about halfway through the first verse, and that's when Mick Mars comes in. It's very muted on the recording. We still have that previous thing that we just learned still going, but we had this. that's the standard blues riff. You might know that. If not, it's the kind of the open A power chord. And then you go to the 4th fret there on the D string with the open A string with it. Then you kind of go back to the power chord. Kind of go back to that power chord, and then go to the 5th fret on the D with that open A, back to the power chord, and then back to 4-2 again. So it kind of. So that's kind of going on the D string with the open A string playing with it. And then you take it over to the low E string. So the E power chord. So now that's happening on the 5th string, the melody. So. All right, now we get to the pre-chorus, which is probably my favorite, really favorite riff of the song. We have this. All right, so that's fun. So the pre-chorus here. Now I will say that there are. I'll talk about this a little bit later. So we have this. All right, so this is the power chord, and you're gonna want to play it like I am here. We have the 5th fret there on the A string, and then the 7th fret there on the D. So you play that a couple of times, then go. What I'm doing, it's kind of a stretch. You're gonna grab the 8th fret there on the A string, slide it up to 9, and then play that 7th fret on the D string. So we have this. So if you do that, slide up 8 to 9, play the 7 on the D, then you're going to slide 8 to 9 again, and then play the power chord. So like this. So we start the riff, do that little lick twice. So we do the lick twice, and then we strum the chord a couple times. Now we do the lick one more time. Basically do the slide. And then you're going to start playing power chords chromatically down from 5, 4, 3, 2. So slow, it goes like this. Quick jump down, and from here we kind of do the same lick. Do that little lick twice there, so you're sliding 5 to 6. It's a stretch, I know. Over to 4 on the D. After you've done that lick twice, then you're just going to hit the power chord 1, 2, 3, 4, and it takes you to the chorus. So we have this. So there's parts of this chorus where there's multiple guitars going on. I'm not going to do all the little fills, kind of just going to do how you would hear them play it live. So we have this, this chorus riff right here, the main one. So that's not exactly what Mick Mars will play live, though. He'll do it like this. So he goes back to that little bluesy lick. So what's going on there is we have, whenever that bluesy lick is happening, we also have another guitar going on. So you're hearing those two guitars at the kind of the ending of the chorus line there. So what is that chorus? We play this A power chord first, and then you're gonna move up here, the index finger up, and play that 4th fret there on the D with the open A string. And then we're going to have this little kind of a cool little slide thing that they do. So there's this. So that's picking the 4th fret across the D and the G. Move it up to 5, slide back down to 4, slide back down to 2. So all together. So after done that lick twice, then we go to the E. So one guitar is going to do that, which is just the low E, power chord, and then you're going to do an upstroke there on the B and the open B and the open high E string. I'll repeat it a couple times with this. So it's that kind of rhythm. All right, so that's one guitarist doing that. The other one, when you're doing this, and this is the way that the part that Mick Mars chooses to play live, is this. So it's basically that blues thing that we did off the E power chord earlier that was in the verse. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 guitarists in your band, one can do that. The other one goes. You both just do the same thing for the other part. You both do that. All right, now, so after we play that part, so the end of the chorus is the pre-chorus riff. So it is. So it's basically the same lyrics, everything there. So at the pre-chorus riff happens. Now, when you're hearing that pre-chorus riff at the end of the chorus, there's another little arpeggiated part that's going on with it, kind of higher things that they don't do live. I'm not even going to cover it. It's just the more important riff to learn is that. And then we're back to that main riff of the track there, which is. And then back to verse 2, which is basically just like verse 1, but just half as long. So we still do that little kind of just hitting the chord hits by themselves, but then we go to the little bluesy riffs that we did in the first riff. But instead of doing each part twice, we do each part once. So it's just a condensed version of verse number 1. Then we have the pre-chorus again and the chorus again, everything staying the same, and then the main riff again. And then we get to the solo. The solo is over the verse and pre-chorus. All right, so that's what's going on over those chords. So we're gonna jump right here to the solo here, and then I'll show you how to play it note for note. So here we go. All right, so really cool, singable, melodic, just instant classic solo from Mick Mars, but also very odd, some odd licks in it. So let's jump into it. We're gonna start here with this. So you can kind of do some with the bar and stuff, but it's fine just to do it with fingers. You're sliding into the 7th fret on the B, and then play 5/7 on the high E. and you start slowly bending up that 7th fret, and then jump up here and do some bends at the 10th fret. So, all right, and then we have this section, which got a pretty interesting lick as well. All right, so that lick is a little difficult to play and get right, and it's kind of hard to hear exactly what's going on completely, but it's kind of what I'm getting from it. So we have the 12th fret on the B. You kind of slide into the 12th fret across the B and the high E. So you hold them both together. Pick the B string, then pick the high E, and then pick the B string again. Then you're going to pick the 14th fret on the high E string, pull off to the high E, pull off to the 12th fret on the high E, and then pull off 15 to 12. So while I'm doing that, you're still hearing the B note. It sounds like it's being hit, but it's just being held over there. So we have this. And then basically you want to think of this whole pattern. You're going to do it, go from the B to the high E again to end it across the 12th fret. So we have this. So that's one time through, and then we just keep repeating that. So remember, it always starts with a B to high E on the 12th fret. So since it ended like that, it's going to feel like you do 2 in a row, but it's really just ending the first lick and then starting the next repeat. So we have this. So we have this. So when you get up to speed, the string crossing is a little difficult. But you know, you're hearing a lot of notes kind of bleed together. Then you're gonna hit the open, I'm calling it the A string, but it's obviously tuned to G. And come down here and do some double stop. So I'm just the 7th fret double stop across the D. Across the D note. It's the 7th fret on the G and the B together. You can play this with one finger. I like to usually on these 2 fingers here. But you're picking those 7s and slightly just pull them down to the floor and release. So it's just a slight bend on each. And then you go down to the 5th fret on the B and the G together. So double stop. So we have this. And then we get this little blues phrase. And that's one of those things that's really low in the mix. It's just kind of a typical rock lick in the 12th fret. So it starts with a 12th fret bend on the B string. And then you just kind of, you're gonna basically mess with 6 notes. 15-12 on the B, 14-12 on the G, and 14-12 on the D. And you're going to end there on that note, and that's the important one. So in between, do whatever you want. It's just one of those typical random blues licks, and it's so low in the mix, it's kind of difficult to get note for note, but just in there. Just do whatever you want. And then we have the next melody. All right, so we have, that is sliding into the 11th fret on the G, over to the 10th fret on the B, and then you get a whole half step bend release at the 12th fret on the B string. Back down to the 10th fret there on the B, over 11 on the G, and back to the 10th fret. More time. And then we have this. So you do a bend there at the 12th fret there on the B, and then go 10, 11, 12 on the high E string. Then it goes down as B. It might be an open B, but it doesn't sound like it's too of an open B. There's a lot of overdubs here. There's just a lot of guitar effects and stuff. Live, he gets kind of just does that live. These double stops at the 7th fret that we did earlier. But closer to the recording, is gotta do some whammy bar dives, some quick dips at the 4th fret there on the G string, and then we just kind of play the pinch harmonics at the 7th fret there on the G string, and keep going back to that 4th. And that's what I'm mostly hearing this. So I'm kind of bending up that 7 when I play it. And then we get to the breakdown there after the solo, which is kind of just like the chorus without the vocal, without any kind of instrumentation. But then we come in with a different way of kind of playing the chorus, and that breakdown is starts doing that. Anyway, so it's basically like that verse riff that we did earlier, but under that, it's in the breakdown section, I guess, so it's kind of the chorus that's going on over that. And then we get to the power chord at the 5th fret, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, and then it goes back to the normal chorus. Obviously, it's extended. It doesn't do that. It just keeps going until it really kind of into eternity. They just rock out that basically first half of the chorus just keeps repeating. All right, so it is a fun track to play, though. Hopefully, you got a couple guitar players to make some of those guitar parts sound just right, and then it's just a blast to play. Guaranteed to get people on their feet. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.